Here's Prescott, just throws it deep as far as his arm can take him. He caught it!
Micah Parsons on the move. Micah Parsons is in! Welcome to the big show, Tony Pollard.
Oh, going deep, it is intercepted.
But I'm not going to say a word, but I will say one thing right now.
Prescott, touchdown. Good protection, and the pass wide open. Touchdown, Lamb.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today, and we are continuing our position evaluation series for the Dallas Cowboys by talking about the running back group here today. If you missed the previous episode where we talked about quarterbacks, please wait till the very end. There will be a title card where you can go to that video so you get caught up on the series. We go through each of the position groups for the Cowboys. We give a letter grade, get a vibe check going for this team. And here we go with running backs, right? And also, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell as well. We are close to 12,000. We're about 20-ish away, so let's get that push going, and hopefully we can get there before the start of training camp. So, with that being said, running backs. So we know who number one is. It's Tony Pollard, right? We understand that he got the big bucks, he got the franchise tag, and his future is in limbo here in Dallas. And, well, why is that? Well, there are a couple things that are going against him. Well, the first thing is he did sign the franchise tag, which is good for him. He gets that guaranteed money. However, the running back market is deflating. And you're starting to see a lot of teams move on from these big running back contracts. And the Cowboys were included in that with Ezekiel Elliott. We're going to put a pin in him for a second, and we'll get back to him in just a moment. The Dallas Cowboys know that Pollard's coming back from a really bad injury from the playoff game against the 49ers where he broke his leg. And really one of the biggest things that came from that game was that the running game just abysmal. Once he left the room, made the Cowboys one-dimensional, and it made it easier to beat them. And this is what worries me about the Cowboys is their effectiveness in running the football. You need speed, and you kind of see that throughout the league that, yes, you have guys that can be workhorse backs, which is nice and all, but I think having the versatility is what's important and having a running back by committee. And I think the Cowboys could be on the verge of that. And I'm not against, paying Pollard to an extent, but I think it has to match with what's going on in the league. And again, his injury, that's number one. But number two, a lot of people put into question how much of a load can he take, right? Because when you look at what Pollard has done, he's done it without being the featured, 80% of the carries type of thing, which, any good offense would have a stable of running backs that they can go to ensure that it stays fresh. That's just how it is. And Mike McCarthy has shown that in Green Bay, the propensity to have a bell cow, speed guy, versatility, fullback, you name it. And so when I look at Tony Pollard, coming off the injury, can he be the main guy getting all those carries? We'll see. I think it's just a matter of as long as the Cowboys do well up front, I think they'll be just fine. And also, we don't know how this injury is going to affect Pollard in speed. He's getting older. We'll see. But I think we'll be just fine, just being completely truthful with you guys. And with that, we move to really the biggest discussion is what happens after Tony Pollard, right? So if we take Tony Pollard out of the picture, who's behind him? Well, you do have Ronald Jones, the guy you signed in free agency on a cheap deal to be the power back, workhorse back, however you wish to word it. I know that for me at least, and others, it really felt like a camp body type of signing because I was like, you can just go draft a running back, which they did, and we'll talk about him in just a moment. But I don't think Ronald Jones is a scrub. I just think you're getting what you're paying for, which is a running back that is good in short yardage situations and has some stuff here and there, but I think he's going to be primarily the, short yardage guy to an extent if things pan out in camp. He's a guy to keep an eye on. The next guy on this list, really, it's a tie between these two. It's Malik Davis and Rico Dowdle. And the reason I say that is because they're kind of the same player in their versatility. They can catch passes out of the backfield. They run hard, really good on certain plays. And we saw that. Rico Dowdle, I think, is a more talented back than Malik Davis, but Malik Davis has availability, younger, you name it. And I think that's the thing is that for Rico Dowdle, this is really his last chance, because if he gets hurt again, I find it really hard to see him continuously being on this roster unless it's like really, really, really cheap. And it's just hard because now that he has to deal with Malik Davis and Malik Davis has to deal with Rico Dowdle, you also have Deuce Vaughn in the mix, which he's short, my height, but being truthful with you guys, that shouldn't matter. You see the production he had in college, and he should translate to the league relatively well. And I think that this is where mystery surrounds this running back position. Because when you really look at it, after Tony Pollard, it's maybe after him and Malik Davis, really, question marks across the board. Okay, so like you then have a guy in Hunter Lipke too, who's a fullback. You know, and we talked about him during the draft process and the Twitter spaces on the channel, and I really like him. I think that it's going to be, well, how many backs do the Cowboys carry, and does Hunter Lipke make the team? Does Deuce Vaughn make the team? Do any of the other guys make the team? So right now, Tony Pollard, I think, is a lock, and Deuce Vaughn, I think, maybe, but, you know, when you get into the late third day picks, I think that sometimes it's like, I don't know. And that's why I'm having this conflict here, thinking about it, because there's many ways this running back room can go. If I had to go with my gut feeling, I think it's going to be Pollard, Ronald Jones, maybe Malik Davis, and then the other guys go on the practice squad. Or if you want to keep Hunter Lipke, that's fine. So I think the battles are really going to take place between Ronald Jones and Hunter Lipke, Malik Davis and Rico Dowdle, and you can also throw Deuce Vaughn in the mix. And that's where we need to see how these things go. Because it's just, the Cowboys have a good problem, to say the least. Like, this isn't a bad thing, thank God. It's not like, okay, we have Pollard, we have Malik Davis, we have this guy, and that's it. Like, we shouldn't be having that discussion. I think that being in a situation to where we have multiple combinations that could come out of this thing is the greatest thing that we can see. And also, injuries can happen. That can push guys up the depth chart. Also, we could have disappointment with some of these dudes. I think that, you know, while I don't think Deuce Vaughn's going to be a disappointment, I think that our expectations should be tempered because, you know, we don't know how he's going to look in the league, even though I think he'll be fine. And that's really the key thing. Because with Pollard being on that franchise tag, the production from all the guys behind him are going to matter a whole lot more. With Deuce Vaughn, he can do things that Pollard can do, except he's a shorter dude. And then you kind of come into question, well, what happens next year if you let Pollard walk out the door? Do you keep some of these dudes on roster? Do you draft another running back? Which is fine, because the Cowboys should be doing that. And like, I will go back to this topic of Zeke. There was a possibility of a reunion, and that could have thrown things off. Because if Zeke got signed back, odds are he's going to be locked for number 2. And then, again, this is a progress stopper between guys like Malik Davis, Rico Dowdle, and healthy competition for running back 2. Right? And the Cowboys confirmed, and, well, rather, the sources of, like, Jane Slater and company reported that the Cowboys are not interested in bringing Zeke back. Which, it sucks for those that want Zeke back, but if I'm being truthful with you, it would have been like a Jason Witten situation where you have a guy that's brought up, you know, blocking any progress or development from the young guys or the guys that really still have tread on their tires. And so with that being said, I don't want to go on and on and on. You guys could tell me down below what you think. Do you believe that this running back room is good? I personally think right now it's a B, a solid B, and a lot of it is question marks. We don't know what Rico Dowdle would look in the right. We only really have seen Tony Pollard and Malik Davis out in the field in a regular season game. I don't recall seeing Rico Dowdle out there because he's been hurt. Deuce Vaughn, rookie. Hunter Lipke. We've seen Ronald Jones and his you know, experience in the NFL game. But if I'm being completely honest, we don't know how these other dudes are going to look. But that's fine. Like, you don't need elite. It's welcomed to have elite running backs and play there. But if the Cowboys can get solid production from each of these dudes when needed, that's all we got to ask. And I think another key thing is that a lot of these dudes still have juice in them, which is important because we shouldn't be in a situation where we're running a dude that has no tread on his tires. No offense to Zeke, but it's the truth, because we saw in that 49ers game when you lost that element to your offense, the whole thing fell apart. And I'm hoping we don't have a repeat there. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I'm going to give it a B there. Please tell me down below what you guys think. Do you believe that the Cowboys should have a higher grade on this position? What are your thoughts? And with that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.